I mean, I know this is my forum, so I can say anything, but can I say something? I can. Thank you. I will not concede reality to idiots any longer. We as a society have got to stop listening to idiots. Because if you take seriously what idiots have to say, even a little bit, I hate to break it to you, you too are an idiot. Probably an even bigger one. Because you don't even know you're an idiot, which is much more dangerous. Trust me, I'm an expert on idiots. I host Idiot Test, a brain testing game show made specifically for me to watch people say and do stupid things and then explain to them how exactly their brain doesn't work properly. Your answer is so much dumber, though. You have to realize that. And by explain, I, of course, mean make fun of them. I'm not done making fun of you yet. Okay. In fact, I'm so good at that we haven't made new episodes in years, yet people keep watching over and over again, so it is still on TV and on Netflix currently. Check it out if you haven't. It was recently trending on there. Because people love watching me make people finally realize their level of stupidity. Worst answer in the history of the show. I actually get more messages about the show now than I did when we first made the new episodes. Because there seems to be, for some reason, I can't quite place why, an ever more urgent need to put idiots in their place. And that, my friends, is what I do best. We as a nation have let stupid people have far too big a say for far too long. It's totally fine for you to be stupid. We'll take care of you so you don't go bumping into walls all the time. But we need to stop listening to you people. No one would do that in their personal lives. I think our decision is pretty sound, Jim, but let's ask that moron over there. I wonder what he thinks. You would never do that. But for some reason, we let morons decide what we're going to focus on as a nation. We revere idiots so much, we elected one as our leader. Super dumb guy. Zero social skills, untethered to reality. Can't talk for 10 seconds without 5 lies.
I don't think science knows, actually. Tom?
This guy is so dumb, he doesn't even understand you're not supposed to want to have sex with your daughter. And he's even dumber than that. He doesn't even realize that even though he wants that for some horrible reason, that's probably something he shouldn't say on television.
Well, she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
The only thing he's not an idiot with is talking to other idiots. You got to hand him that. He's genius at talking to idiots. Really first class. He realized just 2 things that explain his success. 1, he's just a touch smarter than the average idiot. So to even bigger idiots, he seems like a genius. And 2, idiots will believe literally anything. As we have seen, literally everything. Here is a way shortened down list of things that the vast majority of his mindless minions believe. Number 1, let's start with Tom Hanks is a pedophile. These people believe the nicest man in the world is a pedophile. I wanted to set the barometer for the intelligence level we're dealing with here. Side note, doesn't the word pedophile make fucking kids sound a lot less horrible than it is? Like, too fancy a word. Sounds like audiophile or francophile. He's just a pedophile. He just has a real appreciation for children. But back to idiots for a moment. Number 2 thing they believe, the world's most sophisticated election heist in history was somehow perpetrated by hundreds of once every 2-year ballot counters in counties all around the country to coordinatedly throw out Trump ballots and assign extra Biden votes to dead people and count them multiple times. This multi-pronged, multi-layered approach, all while no one else who was there noticed. All with zero actual evidence of this grand plot, except for, look at that grainy video, that guy in the corner that we can't see in that security footage, that could be a thing. And of course, only in counties where Trump lost did this happen. Zero anti-Trump fraud anywhere else. Even though they couldn't possibly know in advance which counties that would be, but they only found evidence of it in the exact counties and states where Trump lost. Idiots is too soft a word for people who believe that. Utter fools is a little bit more fitting. People in comas have better awareness of their surroundings. They don't even see a clue to how much bullshit this is in the fact that he told us in advance he was going to claim this.
We want to make sure the election is honest, and I'm not sure that it can be. I don't know that it can be.
Again, not realizing that's probably something you shouldn't say on television. And their star witness, as you may have seen this last week on Earth, is a person who is clearly making up fraud numbers before our very eyes and is quite possibly drunk.
The poll book is completely off. Completely off.
Off by 30,000?
I'd say that poll book is off by over 100,000. That poll book?
30,000. I'd say it was easily 100,000. That's a number, right? Oh, and did you see this clip?
We're not seeing the poll book off by 30,000 votes. That's not the case.
What did you guys do? Take it and do something crazy to it?
What, are you doing some crazy things to it? Amazing sleuth work, Perry Mason. Ma'am, just to clarify, crazy things, is that the official accusation? Are we doing crazy things to it? But here's the problem. I follow some of these dum-dums online. I guess so I could do rants like this. And they saw the same clips of that same person and literally called her an American hero and said she owned the panel. Owned. These people couldn't own a VCR if it was left outside with a sign that said free on it. All they'd have to do is bring it inside. 3, okay, more things these idiots who we are letting set the national discourse believe. Number 3, climate change is a hoax. The most obvious physical evidence of is not even convincing to them. 98% of scientists agree. They instead believe the guy who said, I don't think the science knows. Okay, I don't think it knows. I don't think the science knows, like it's a guy you're about to wrestle against in WWE. I don't think the science knows. I'm going to take down the science, okay? It's science. It's not a dude. It's the word we have in life for empirical evidence-based facts. Every possible piece of evidence that they think is bullshit. More frequent and more intense hurricanes and tornadoes. Hottest year on record, year after year. Charts going like this. Boop. That's the up sound. Ice caps melting. Rising sea levels. Even skinny-ass polar bears walking around posing for cameras going, look at me, idiot. This is not how bears are supposed to look. Number 4, they think practically all mass shootings are fake. Staged by crisis actors. Somehow pulling a fast one on the gun industry by getting still nearly no legislation passed, while disappearing all these victims for life to a crisis actor island somewhere, and having their families walk around all sad forever, method acting to a level that would make De Niro go, give it a rest already, okay? Number 5, they believe our FBI, CIA, NSA, Department of Homeland Security, in fact, all 13 of our intelligence agencies combined, have America's best interest at heart less than Russia, our literal enemy. That's what these people believe now. Like, Russia is so stereotypically our enemy. They've been our enemy in every movie since forever. Even cartoons get it. Rocky and Bullwinkle knew, don't trust those 2 Russians, Rocky. Their orange idiot president says he trusts Putin over our own intelligence. And so his Tangelos wear shirts that say, I'd rather be a Russian than a Democrat. They're so stupid, they don't even understand the definition of patriotism. It means love of our country, not our enemies' countries. Number 6, they think the flag of the side in the Civil War that didn't want to be America anymore is patriotic. The side that fought to form a new country because America, which is this country, wouldn't let them keep slavery going. But they think the right to protest, which is the whole point of the freedom the American flag stands for, is somehow un-American. Except when they want to protest, of course. About important things like the secret cabal of pedophile election workers and celebrities who implemented a hundreds of counties plot to let their dead uncle vote. In many cases, the uncle that was doing to them what they think Tom Hanks is doing for some reason. All a sophisticated election-stealing plot brilliantly predicted in advance by the man who thinks he's a genius because he can remember the words person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that? I do it because I have like a good memory, because I'm cognitively there.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, it's a very difficult list. The last two of which, camera and TV, are the only two things he cares about. Plus, he's a garbage person who's always mistreating women, and man is the thing he is. Barely. So all I'm saying is it's a very easy list for him to remember. And they don't even pick up on the fact that they're being played when he has them at one ballot counting center chanting, "Stop the count," and at another chanting, "Keep counting." Those are opposites, you dumb fucks. Who knew the end of democracy as we know it could be so ironically hilarious? But of course, they don't pick up on even that obvious clue that they're being played because they're idiots. And that's what idiots' most defining feature is. They aren't good at understanding stuff. Evidenced by number 7, society has been almost totally shut down for almost a year, while we now have a 9/11 amount of Americans dying every single day. And other countries don't, yet they still won't wear a mask, something that has been worn since the beginning of any basic knowledge of airborne viruses started hundreds of years ago, because their tangerine mad king keeps flip-flopping on it as he riffs cures on TV, including injecting bleach, aka actual poison, into our bodies, and even as he got the virus himself and had to spend days in the hospital, and even as everyone around him gets it, and one by one are going to the hospital as well, and some of his buddies even died from it. Herman Cain, Mr. 999, is now 666 feet underground. And if that weren't enough glaring evidence, he was even on an audio recording telling the most famous reporter in the world when it comes to taking down presidents, Bob Woodward, of Woodward and Bernstein Take Down Nixon fame, that he knew how deadly it is and intentionally didn't tell people.
It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down.
The biggest smoking gun you could ever have. Again, Trump not realizing he shouldn't say that out loud to a reporter. He admitted that he let us die by lying about this deadly virus so people wouldn't blame him for a thing he still has made no real attempt to control. And his idiots are all like, I still don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's fine to lie about stuff which leads to us dying. Because of Hunter Biden and Tom Hanks and stuff. Look, obviously that's more than enough to prove how stupid these people are. But for good measure, let me just throw in a few gems from right before COVID hit, just to remind you. They and their orange tan orangutan believe windmills cause cancer, that you can alter weather maps with a Sharpie and they're still accurate, that water usage is up because people flush the toilet 10 to 15 times, which I would only do if Trump were in it, and that he built part of his imaginary border wall in Colorado, even though Colorado doesn't border Mexico. But this is my point. People who believe any one of these things, let alone all of them, are so stupid, you should feel sorry for them for sure. You should even politely nod when they say things, and then talk about them when they leave. But you should definitely not be letting them dictate what we as a nation focus on. Instead of having adult conversations and tackling the vast problems we are all facing, we have to now defend a perfectly legit election to a bunch of quarter-wits being led by a monster and his lead dumb henchman, Rudy Giuliani, as he leaks coronavirus down the sides of his face, fresh from being punked by Borat while trying to fuck an underage girl posing as a reporter, again a profession generally known for having cameras and recorders on them at all times. Once we start completely ignoring these idiots and their golf addict, fluffy-haired former leader, things will finally be able to improve, and we as a civilization will be able to progress. They can stay at the kiddie table throwing food at each other, wiping their messy faces with Confederate flag napkins. we can just put them down and relax with some cocktails for the grown-ups for the rest of the evening. But what do I know? I'm just correct. For my take on the rest of the things that happened during the last week, subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth, on Kevin Smith's Smodcast Network, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods.
Last week on Earth. Last week on Earth.